Today we're going to learn about a coin that's caused coin dealers almost as many headaches as the HH $2 coin from 1988. But today we are talking about the very, very well known and very famous $1 mule. This is from the year 2000 and it was a $1 coin that was incorrectly struck with the head side, also known as the obverse, of a 10-cent coin. As a result, you have a distinct double rim on the coin, and it is a very, very popular item. So let's learn a little more, and I'll also dispel the rumors about the 1988 HH $2 coin. Starting off with the $2 coin that's caused headaches, and still to this day, my phone rings and people ask about it. Hopefully they'll watch this video first, and I'll save myself or save Alyssa a bit of time on the phone. So if you have the $2 coin with the HH initials, your coin is incredibly common. It's one of about 180 million that were produced. They're not rare at all. They're not valuable. They are very cool though. It's a piece of, Australian numismatic history. 1988 was the first year of the $2 coin. So you can look at it and appreciate it from that perspective. You're holding among the first $2 coins ever produced in Australia. Just unfortunate that there were over 100 million of them made. So very common, not worth anything. So please don't call and ask about it. On behalf of all coin dealers in Australia, that would be much appreciated. Now, another coin that causes some, not really headaches, but it causes, a few phone calls of people saying, I've got a $1 coin from the year 2000. Am I rich? This is one of approximately between 6 to 10,000, and I think there were 7.8 million produced just in the year 2000. So statistically, it's very unlikely that you will find one of these in your change. And if you do, you're very lucky because they're worth significantly more than their face value. At the moment, I've got, I guess what I could describe as a mob of mules. I've got 5 of them at the moment in stock. And it's the type of thing that in average quality, I've got a number of lower grade ones, and you're talking a few $100s. I think the ones I have at the moment range from between $400 and $600. And if you get into the nicer ones and some of them that have been graded by PCGS, you're generally talking over $1,000 for the nicer examples. And if you're looking at a really nice uncirculated one, you're looking at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So there's quite a broad spectrum of pricing on these. But for the most part, generally the ones that we see turn up on the market are the circulated ones that have been around, which makes sense because I'll elaborate now on the origin story of these coins. So they were produced mistakenly by the Royal Australian Mint. No one knows exactly why they were produced, whether it was a cheeky employee of the Mint, producing them intentionally, or if it's something that happened purely by accident, and by the time the error was identified, a number of them had already been dispatched. But one way or another, they ended up in Perth, and the story goes that a gentleman in a casino noticed that he was receiving some dollar coins when he cashed out that had a double ring on them. He then identified that this was obviously a mistake, and supposedly then just started feeding notes into the machine, I suppose, as you would, and cashing out and accumulating a large volume of these coins. And then the rest is history. They've been found all over the country since. There are a number of people out there that do what's referred to as noodling. Now, this is just the act of getting large volumes of coins from the bank and sifting through them, trying to find coins such as the $1 mule from the year 2000. Now, for a little more insight onto that, you could probably get in touch with my buddy Joel. He operates on Instagram and TikTok under The History of Money. He's very knowledgeable in the field of noodling, something of a noodling expert, you might even say. So he's probably the man to speak to about noodling. It's not the sort of thing, unfortunately, at the moment that I really have the time to do anymore. Between the shop, young family, and all of the other things I do, I don't really have the time for noodling anymore, unfortunately. But there you go, that's perhaps a new word that you've learned for the day, noodling. So now, the reason this coin is so famous and so well known, it's the type of thing that, understandably, I don't know if it's a distinctly Australian thing, but people get really excited anytime that there's a mistake made, particularly with an institution like the Royal Australian Mint, that we've come to expect a really high standard from. It's the sort of thing that doesn't happen very often. So whenever there is a mistake and it gets publicized, the media run pretty hard with it. I can't tell you how many times I've been contacted by various news outlets wanting to talk about this particular coin. And I think it also captivates people in the sense that it is the type of thing that, whilst it's unlikely, I think statistically you're talking something like 0.0006% chance of turning up in your change. It's the type of thing that does occasionally turn up in people's change, and it's kind of exciting. It makes it feel like each time you get your change when you're paying with cash, I guess in that sense it's almost a bit of a lottery. Chances are pretty slim, but it's exciting to know that sometimes people do check their change and they find something like this. And as a result, it's become a really, really well-known thing. And the media in Australia often like to publish stories about the potential of you finding one of these in your change. And it's nice because often they get in touch with me and I'm always happy to chat about it. But I try not to send mixed messages in the sense that I don't tell people, your chances are 1 in 10 of finding these, go and check your change now. It's really unlikely, but that's what makes it so exciting when you do find it. And for collectors of error coins, as well as just well-known coins, these are really, really popular. So the mule is something that's widely known, even with people that don't actively collect coins. I wouldn't say, it's a 1930 penny type of thing, but as far as modern decimal coins go, this is a really, really well-known coin. And as a result, there are a number of people, again, like the 1930 penny, that aren't actively collecting dollar coins, but they'll still pick one of these up just to, have a little piece of collecting history. Now for a little bit of etymology. Mule. So a mule is the byproduct of a donkey mating with a horse. As a result, you end up with a mule. So the clever terminology was applied to this coin because it is the unlikely pairing of a 10-cent head side of a coin with the standard $1 reverse side, which is the Mob of Ruse design we see here. So there you go. If you were ever wondering where we get the term mule from, there you go. It's from the animal kingdom. For me personally, the mule represents a really interesting piece of Australian collecting history because it's representative of how quickly information can spread when there's a bit of excitement in the air. As I said earlier, there are so many, you can just Google it, and there's so many news publications about this particular coin. And as I mentioned, as a result, it ends up being known far and wide by collectors and non-collectors alike. So it's kind of interesting in that sense to see how popular a coin can become just because it was a mistake. And I guess as a result of, the Royal Australian Mint often not producing things like these, there are examples out there of various errors that are pretty spectacular, but I would suggest that this is probably the most well-known, matched only possibly by the 1966 20-cent piece with the wavy baseline. But I think that'll be the subject for another video. I think I've covered off enough of the mule history for now, and hopefully you've learned a little bit along the way. So there you go, that's the 2000 $1 mule, probably Australia's most famous $1 coin. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Have you ever seen one in your change? Or in general, have you ever seen an interesting dollar in your change and put it aside? Because I must confess that from a very young age, whenever I saw something a little unusual, I would always put it aside. And I think that's probably how I started in collecting, like a lot of people. You see something different and unusual, but it must be exciting for people that don't know much about coins, if they've ever found a mule and put it aside, to then take it into a coin shop and find out that, it's worth significantly more than that. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy coin collecting, the greatest hobby in the world, please consider subscribing to the channel or come down and visit us. We're here at Shop 8 in the Boronia Mall, which is located at 50 Dorset Square in Boronia. We're open Tuesday to Thursday, 10 till 4, and Saturdays, 10 till 3. I've actually filmed this video on a Friday, so I'm not actually open, hence the casual attire. I'm here doing a bit of a tidy up. The back area has become a bit of a mess, and I'm just getting things organized for Saturday and for the week ahead. So that's why you don't often see me in a t-shirt, but there you go. Something a little unusual. A bit of a rarity, you might even say. Alrighty, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.